For some reason, I wasn't able to dig it up.
I got you added now, so you should be able to start a space next time.
Okay, perfect. That's good news. Let me grab my water real quick, and then we can kind of get started. Sweet Caroline. Oh, oh, oh. Never felt so good, so good, so good. Throw that in the chat there, the agenda here. I'm just missing the links to the proposals. I can grab them in the proposal form though. Relay no rewards. Do we need comment on that, or is it already passed? I thought it already passed.
I think it was already passed.
All right, I'll add it to the agenda. It's on there already. Retro Grant. That's mine.
Came in on the high side of, you know, the spectrum too. But I agree that it's not like you just shut the door. You just have a conversation about what everybody thinks is fair, and you know, go from there.
We're willing to come down, and ultimately, it's like the foundations of the larger proposal, and we'll talk about it in a minute too. I don't know if other people will join. I'm going to quickly message out an X to let folks know
Okay.
that this meeting has begun. I will also tweet out a link to the live stream. Fury, thank you for taking care of live streaming. Really appreciate it. It's good stuff, man. You're doing a great job of it. It's the best way to go about it, I think. And I know we've had conversations in the future, and obviously, like one step at a time here. But um, it does also make sense to try to stream it on other streaming platforms at the same time with the OBS controls. We would just need to like talk about which platforms and what makes sense. The other thing that I think we should look into as well for Voy, and I'll add it as a action item, and I can like set it up for us. But setting up some sort of Farcaster account, because that's really like crypto audience I know Dorkfi, I set one up for us like a couple weeks ago, and I think it's worth getting some more engagement over there from Dorkfi and obviously Voy as well. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and I know Haruf, you've got some experience with Twitch, right? Is that, or you
Not
had mentioned? I think you mentioned it previously in
I,
meetings.
I suggested that Twitch was a good location, but I've not had any kind of like streaming experience or anything like that.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, it looks like we've got some folks in the audience here, and yeah, let's kind of kick things off. I'll do some opening remarks, and then we can kind of get into some of that. I'll add like streaming to the agenda. And also, if anybody else has agenda items that they want to add to open discussion, feel free to message them in the chat here, or go ahead and shoot me a DM, after the fact. But yeah, let's get started with some opening remarks. Super excited about another week in Voiland. Once again, the council meeting on Monday was very progressive. Lots of things covered in that meeting. I know it went about 30 minutes longer than than the hour that's scheduled, and it seems like that's a somewhat common trend and probably a good thing as the new council's kind of catching up on a lot of different initiatives here as well. So super excited for those guys to keep plugging along and keep doing really great work. Um, Another thing that I wanted to mention too is, I was on a space yesterday, and I was talking with Nuss about long-term investing, and right now, just a call to action. It's a really great time for anybody in this ecosystem to go buy some Void. Prices are, really attractive at this moment in time. And, we also have the upcoming launch of DorkFi that will help unlock some liquidity. And anybody who is looking to participate on the voice side of things, the whole idea is to be able to get in early and um, be able to deposit those your tokens and earn yield, which is a dynamic yield spread. And I won't go into too much detail on that, but there'll be a forthcoming article for it. But it's a good opportunity to stack some Voy and earn some yield on lending, as well as earn yield on our incentive program through Voy. So very exciting things coming up. I know there was a. We'll jump into the actual agenda here. Talk about some updates and announcements. There's a builder meeting. I missed it. I slept through it this morning. I was up late last night working and needed a couple extra hours of sleep. So if anybody who is on that call wants to chime in and chat about it, please do. Were you there, Haruf? Were you
No,
up?
I was just going to mention that when you came in singing Sweet Caroline, I assumed you were not up late working, but then I realized you were up late working because I got those messages last night. So,
Yeah, up late working, but I've had some coffee, enough time to shake it off and be a little cheery this morning. You know, I think yeah, past few nights been up working late, hosting spaces and enjoying and having fun with with the work that we do here. So Yeah, if anybody, I know Fury, you were probably on that call. Do you want to give a rundown of everything, or maybe Chris or Shelly if they want to come up? I don't know if Shelly was on it, um, but give a quick update on the builders meeting. Anyone? All right, let's get Shelly up here. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, and he's clean shaven. I
Yep.
love it. I can't speak so much for myself. I'm Movembering it up. If you can't tell, my blonde mustache.
Yeah. So I was at the builders meeting and just go over some of the things we talked about for the people, attendance, Ludo, Chris, Zarmian, Gov, audience, Nus, Drag MZ, Ludo mainly talked about the updates to the decks, receiving feedback. Daniel and Chris has been in there, and maybe Gov will be added to the list of people giving feedback. Issues with some wallets. Feedback regarding needing more tooltips and improving the loading. And then there was talk about a Arbot, their recent jumps in activity, and that was thought to be like a result of the Arbot moving, and so there is some Arbot in the wild that Ludo has developed, and with related to the project. But I think that people in the community might want to reach out to Ludo to, if to provide more feedback, to get involved with the project. So Ludo is he's been working on a Dex for some time, and yeah, that was how we started the meeting off. I was in there, so I was talking about.
Can I say just a word around about like the Biotech DEX is the concentrated liquidity AMM, so it's much more efficient than basically the constant product AMMs. So anybody who would like to participate basically as early users, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, I need to get in there and do a little bit more of a deep dive. I did get in, play around with it for about 20 minutes, and yeah, he picked up on my feedback as well, which was really having some more tooltips on it, and some just a little bit more general information, maybe some links to I don't know, some docs there that can kind of point folks in the right direction and outline exactly what it is folks are doing in there as well. So I think that would be helpful for just the average user, someone who might not have used a clam before. But yeah, I'll get in and provide some more feedback as well. There was one other thing um, too that I was thinking about, at least in the login page. I think there's like a few steps that it requires, and if you can just make it easier to log in, just one simple step, like sign and get in. I think that would be helpful as well. Remove a barrier to entry.
So Ludo, what would be like the preferred way for anyone interested in getting you know touching the project? Is there like a link posted somewhere, or do you have like a sign up for these new these people that are going to be early in the project? What's your how do people get involved?
Well, anybody can contact me on Telegram or Discord. I go on Biotech Dex is the link to the Discord, so basically anybody can reach me.
Cool. So let's see. So just
And I will post here the documentation to the DEX, by the way.
all
Sweet.
right.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Just wanted.
docs.dex.biatek.io.
Mm-hmm. Dex.biatic.io.
docs.dex.biatek.io. Yes.
Okay. Good to know. We just wanna let people know like how they can get involved and be there early.
Sweet.
Let's see. So I was talking about just going down the builders meeting notes. I had little notes. Then I started talking about like updates to DarkFi, like how we're focusing in on just the next release scope, and talked a little bit about that and the issue there was an issue on Monday, I think, where I turned off the machine, and people thought they lost their money, but it wasn't, and it wasn't that.
Nice. Are just checking in with us all the time, though. It's nice to know that there's people there who are interested and hungry. They're hungry for their DeFi.
Yes.
Yep.
I think also it's good, yeah, that we were getting some activity in there. And the other thing that I was thinking about for people who thought that they may have lost their tokens, we can also in the discords show them that if they just go to Vestige and look up for the algo folks, look at their wallet distributions, there is your assets on the DorkFi platform, so you can always just double check in there and take a look at your assets having been deposited into DorkFi.
Yeah, it's really nice how we got that automatically. I think moving forward, they're just gonna code around us and figure it out, right? So, talked about, just going through here. Talked about some of the new things for House of Voy. New game. New game coming out. Jackpots and bonus spins and stuff like that. Chris talked about more about House of Voy, and his I think some of what he talked about was progress in licensing, like the legal stuff, and the new
At some point, we've got House of Voy update that he can run through on the agenda here as well.
yeah. We'll just I'll finish up my cliff notes here on the meeting. And then he talked about like how the branding is coming along, with it's an exercise for me remembering what people talked about. Branding coming along, like the initial branding wasn't working, but the new team, they've showed performance, where it's just like picking the best one out of what he likes the most. That was what I thought Chris said, and Zarmian progress on iOS, but still having issues with support, and it's he's going to call him and chew him out, and but also like House of Boy updates. He's going to be working with the new game, and we spoke a lot about near the end. A big piece of the builders meeting was regarding like House of Boy detail stuff. So that was what happened this morning.
Sweet. Thank you, Shelly. Appreciate the builders meeting update. The other, just kind of moving along on the kind of announcements. communications and updates on the agenda. Voy Wallet, I don't want to speak to it too much with it being Zarmian's project, but I do want to say what a cool update being able to skin the application with your NFT. And all those new updates that were pushed out just last week, pretty sweet. So if you haven't had an opportunity to download and connect to the Voy wallet, go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, download it, check it out, update your skin on the background of your wallet to your favorite NFT. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, Shelly just talked a little bit about the DorkFi update as well. Um, you know, with the issue that was solved on Monday, a few other things that we can talk about here is there'll be a series of Medium articles coming out for us to really kind of outline how DorkFi borrow lend will work, different strategies, really specifically about how to use the application in the most efficient ways. Risk management is also an article as well. So there's a whole, I would say about a dozen articles over the next a couple of weeks before we launch. We'll be releasing, and it's really to inform folks that may have not used these types of platforms before how you could use it, and also to get people excited about the upcoming release. For those who don't know, we have announced a go live with our lending markets, and really just a kind of a schedule for going live with different features. So the lending markets will be going live on 11/20. That gives us enough time to complete that final leg here of the audit, as well as implement beta testing recommendations, and then update the beta test for folks to go in and kind of mess around and give us some more feedback on beta testing there. So lots of exciting announcements coming in the future as well. And yeah, looking forward to the lending markets going live on the 20th of this month. And then liquidation markets will be coming up and released on December 15th. So a little bit more runway for those liquidation markets for people to get in and do some peer-to-peer liquidations. Anything else that I missed there, Haruf?
Just like the beta testers aspect of it. I mean, we're gonna be kind of focused on the different features prior to this rollout, and we're really appreciative of the beta testers who are doing some work to make sure that it's working the way that they want it to work. And we had talked about, but we haven't really firmed up. I'd really like to see in the next couple of weeks, kind of like focus on the certain areas of the app, so that we can kind of like have everybody kind of focus on one particular page or whatever. So what we haven't figured it fully out yet, but you can kind of expect something like that that'll be tied into the the rollout.
Yep, that sounds great, man. Moving on to Aramid update. Ludo, you got any updates for us on Aramid that you'd like to share?
At the moment, I don't have any news, and I assume everything is working as we don't receive any new tickets.
I was unable to get to the Explorer yesterday for some reason. I was getting that 522 error or something, the bad gateway. I also just wanted to mention that Daniel did draft a PDF response regarding the retroactive grant that Aramid has, and it's been posted in the council chat or in the council announcements page.
Yeah, the Explorer is on some unstable server, so if you hit few times the refresh, you should be able to get to it.
Yeah, I tried it a bunch of times. It just didn't come up. I don't care. I just letting you know.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Sweet. I'll be on the lookout for that that note from Daniel. I know that he was in here last week and kind of talked a little bit about some of the updates and some forward-looking things as well. So Chris was up here too, answering some or asking some questions of Daniel as well, which were very powerful. So anyway, jumping up to House of Void update. Let's get Chris up here, and he can give us the rundown on House of Void. Chris, are you coming up? Let's talk about your project, man. I mean, it's not letting you. Let's see if we can invite him. Fury, do you have the ability to just add Chris as a speaker? Oh, there it is. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yo.
The event itself
Yo,
didn't get
what's up, dude?
but
Yeah, I think
How
that's
you doing?
what was going on and doing well. You guys need to start the event. I'm gonna start the event right now, just so you know.
yeah, when I went to start it, it didn't say anything was scheduled at the time, and I
Okay.
didn't want.
So now it's started. Now I have full control. But yeah, because you guys didn't actually start the event, I didn't think an event was going. So anyway, I'll turn on my camera. Does it work? Nope, didn't work. So just a House of Void updates. Things have actually been coming along really well. We've now hired 2 different Ukrainian teams, 1 design team and 1 development team. The development team started today, and the design team started last week. The design team started delivering logos. I did actually work with a different team earlier, and I really didn't like any of the logos they gave me. And I just told them to stop. So this new team ended up. This new team is like the opposite. They've sent me now so many logos that I like. It's hard to actually pick the one I like them best. So I'm really happy with that with the change. As far as actually the progress done with the platform, working with Zarmian to roll out the actual new House of Void app. The big feature that's coming, hopefully by this week, is a full onboarding and referral system. So people would be able to actually refer people, and not only refer people, but actually start tracking their volume. And then we'll be able to use that to actually reward them for doing so. That should be done by the end of this week, knock on wood. But yeah, Haruf and Gov and a few other people have actually been working on helping me test out a lot of the features and kind of polish them up a little bit. So when we do roll it out, it goes really, really well. On the legal licensing side, I've been meeting with lawyers in different jurisdictions. Met with a guy in Las Vegas late last week about U.S. licensing, and then he recommended me talk to one of two lawyers in Canada, which both actually reached out and talked to one tomorrow and then one early next week about getting a license in out of Canada. But overall, things are moving along well. Been actually already starting to talk to investors about our seed round, but we're not going to raise our seed round until probably February. I'm kind of trying to line it up so that's we'd raise it around ETH Denver. That's kind of my mindset there. But overall, like, kind of disappointing that we're not really pushing our existing community. So all you guys that are playing, it still works and everything. We haven't done any events, but that's because we can been completely focused in the new app with a new design and the new referrals and the new achievements and things like that. So the other thing too is that we are switching the um, uh, to a new achievement system. All of the existing achievements will roll in and will be part of the new system. So don't worry about losing all of your awesome achievements that you got so far. It's just that we're going to build a cleaner way of doing it. Because we found that we were tying it to individual wallets, and when we tied it to wallets, sometimes people like to switch. Some people have multiple wallets that they play with, so we're changing exactly how that works as well.
No more soulbound achievements.
I mean, we will probably. I mean, we can still do soulbound achievements, but it'll be more of like an optional thing where people can actually like mint their own achievements. And yeah, so
Sweet.
that's kind of where the updates are. I think that's about it. I'm really excited about the progress of Dorkfather, by the way. So congrats on putting the dates out to when things are rolling out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and we just so you know, we're gonna have hope at least one more type of game, if not two games, for our big next traction push. So we'll have a ways to win slot machine and also a Keno machine. So people will be able to play Keno.
Nice.
So
that should be fun.
I had an idea for Keno that I don't think I've seen anybody do before, and that's allow people multiple bets on the same spin, basically. If you wanted to choose like sets of different numbers, like for example, a lot of people like to bet like three numbers on high for maybe like an 85x payout. You could do a spin of like where you could choose like a set like sets of three, like 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, whatever, and then have them resolve in the same spin.
yeah, I think I'll talk to you all about it. So when the time comes, because I haven't actually thought about the mechanics of Keno at all yet. The only thing that I want it to be is I want it to be it's going to be a group gambling game, meaning that the same numbers will be pulled every, like, say 8 blocks or whatever, so that people could play together. It's like, oh, I picked these numbers, I picked these numbers, and these numbers are what came up, similar to how Keno works in the real world. But you'll be able to actually buy, like, Mazza says, multiple cards. You can actually play. It'll be I mean, it's similar, like, old people bingo, where you buy a bunch of cards and then when they come up, you can play it that way. And the cool thing is that our designers designed a bingo game already. They call this like Super Bingo or something of that sort. So, and it works really well with Keno. So, like, the idea is, it's like, okay, we're buying, 10 cards every round, and we're gonna buy 10 rounds worth. So you just buy them all, and then you just sit back and just watch it, click, 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 and see how you do. So it's more of like a social thing, and the idea is that we want to make it so that people can just do it on their phone, sitting at the bar, doing everything. So even if they don't have like the normal Keno, they could just play and do everything with this. It can be fun. But yeah, like, as far as actually the rules of how it works, still need to dig into exactly like how to win, like picking the numbers, and the reason why we is going to be a group one rather than just all individual plays is because it's a different type of style of game. That's the way that I actually see a bunch of casino games is like just the single player where, like, the slot machine or like the video poker or what have you. It's just a single player. But then there's the table games like craps and roulettes and Keno and a lot of those things where it's more of like it's an ongoing time-based thing where you can just sit down at the table and just start playing, but you sit down with a bunch of other people and play at the same time. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only cap with how many cards you can buy or how many people can play is how much money is in the treasury. Obviously, it needs to be able to be paid out, but it should be fun.
Super exciting. Added more games and Keno on the list. I know Bingo is also big, super popular as well. It'd be fun to see that in the future too. So I'm sure it's a long-term future roadmap for you guys. It's awesome. Good stuff.
And our goal is every game that's available in the casino we want to be online.
That's awesome.
It's also like
play
reverse
some roulette. Oh, go ahead. Haruf, I cut you off.
Keno is almost like reverse mines. So if you get like the logic for Keno down, you should be able to spin out mines also.
Sweet. I'm when I go to the casino, I pretty much stick to the roulette table, and a little bit of blackjack every now and again. But roulette, it would be fun to see a big fancy roulette wheel spinning around and playing that game in the future as well. Would love to do that. So anyway, Twitter update. I don't know. I haven't seen much activity, Haruf, from the Twitter account. Is anybody posting right now, or is it mostly?
It's just on occasion people are posting, but we've reached out. We have a meeting scheduled for Friday with Coop because he says he's interested in doing it. So we're gonna have a talk with him after he's had a chance to think about what he would like to be doing. So that's
Awesome.
That's what
Yeah, that was on the open discussion agenda item too. Is like, I know he's going to come with some of his own ideas, but just with the folks who are up here right now, like, do you guys have ideas that of things that you'd like to see? And I'll start. It'd be nice to have obviously some more engagement on the Twitter social accounts, sharing out the builders live streams, sharing out the live stream for the council meeting, for this meeting. I think those things are low hanging fruit. Generate some more excitement, get the community involved, get the community to show up to those meetings as well, and watch and participate. I also think it'd be pretty cool to see an expansion on the existing narrative, which it was put together obviously at the very beginning. It's a community driven chain, your chain, by you, for you, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So get more storytelling around that, and kind of highlighting some of the big community stories, for development and participation over the past year, and maybe do some type of content push around that as well. But yeah, anyway, those are just a couple thoughts. Do you guys have thoughts?
I mean, generally, that's what I was thinking. Except that he needs to develop or whoever it is needs to develop like a personality for the account. I mean, I think that's probably what's missing.
Yeah, makes sense. Sweet. All right. Just wanted to make a little bit of leave it open discussion as well. OX Labs, they had reached out to me on LinkedIn, and if for those who remembered, throughout last year, there was a period of time, I want to say like 3 months, where we were just getting a bunch of random grant proposals that were submitted on behalf of OX Labs, or by OX Labs on behalf of other projects that we couldn't get a hold of anybody over at OX Labs or at those projects that had submitted the proposals from. So what resulted from that was a pre-screen, as well as a policy update on pre-screening and a policy update on a 30-day hold. because we were putting some of those projects we didn't get a hold of on hold. But what I do know is that they're working with a whole slew of different layer one blockchains that have grant proposal offerings, and maybe if we are able to connect with them and give them some of the things that we'd like to see from our community, they can point different projects in the right direction, and it could be a good opportunity for us to attract some new developers. Obviously, I think we'll want to have some kind of minimum requirements and probably some maximum requirements on the amount of spend that we're willing to pay projects to come in and build and do things. So I know I've talked about it at length previously, probably about a year ago, which was kind of focusing a little bit more on, hey, what are the bounty? Can we have like a more comprehensive bounty board for things that we'd like to have developed? Maybe it's not a specific rate that we're willing to pay for things, but at least a little bit more robust on specifics for what we'd like to have built in the ecosystem, and then a range for what we're willing to pay for some of that stuff too. I think that would be very helpful. And as a community member and a committee lead here, I'll be kind of voicing that a little bit more. But I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on it. I know in the past, Chris was a little bit opposed to the idea, and I think it was basically the fact that you don't want to create a mercenary type environment where people are just in building and not actually
Well,
participating in the
sorry, I
environment.
just got back. What was the thing I was opposed of?
Having bounties with kind of clear amounts of void that we're willing to pay out for those bounties.
I'm not. I wasn't against it for mercenary reasons. I was against it because um, it limits to what people will actually would receive. Like if somebody came in and was like, oh, I'm going to build this huge amazing thing to solve this bounty, and they look at it and say, oh, this is not enough, then it limits that way. And then the other, which we actually saw during the testnet, is that some people did the absolute minimum and ended up claiming the entire bounty, even though that's it wasn't exactly what was needed. So that's the reason why I was against a fixed number, is mainly because we don't know exactly what they're going to offer.
And maybe it could be just kind of a range to solve those things and built out on milestone basis. But yeah, I understand that there's pros and cons to having those bounties, but I also think that we gotta do something for it. And I think if we're working with an organization like OX Labs that can help promote and give more visibility to the grant program, we might get some interesting developers that want to elaborate on their existing projects and integrate with Voi, or do build other types of things that we've never seen before on the chain, or they haven't built before too. So that's where I think at least having the meeting is good. I know Haruf and I are gonna sit in on it. If anybody else wants to join and chat with those guys, let me know. The meeting is set for the 10th, 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. So yeah, we'll be talking with their COO. Drawn a blank on his name, but I do have his information, so it should be good. Cool. Moving on to the next thing, network upgrade. I know that this was talked about 2 council meetings ago about upgrading the overall network, I don't know a whole lot about any progress that's been made, or I just know that in this last council meeting, it was something that folks wanted to talk about during the Voyager meeting, and see if there were any updates on it. What am I missing, Haruf?
I don't think anything. Think think what we discussed before was that we were interested in moving forward with it, and that it was something that block authority was versed in and able to facilitate. So I think we're still in that same position. We're interested in having it happen. Would like to hear more about how that would how that would start. And I can't speak for the entire council, but that's generally what I remember.
Sweet. Does Chris, you have any thoughts on the upgrade?
I mean, it absolutely needs to be done. And whatever I can do to support it, I'll be happy to.
Sweet.
And
Seems like that.
what do you need to the network to be upgraded? I think only the node runners has to upgrade to the latest Algo D, right?
So the very latest push, there's a note that says that the indexers have to be updated first, which is weird, and I don't know exactly why, but it's more of just modifying voice swarm to, because a lot of people use voice swarm to make it so that it's an easy upgrade for everybody. It's not a lot of work. It's just a matter of just putting together and making sure that we have somebody that is responsible for it.
Sweet. That sounds good. I think, at least based on my understanding from that meeting a couple weeks ago, was there was pretty much consensus across the board from the council, that it was a good idea and that it should be done sooner rather than later. And then there was some discussion also about ballast nodes and all that fun stuff as well, that I'm a little less versed in, but yeah, I know that since the network meeting is kind of rolled up into the council meeting, it's obviously an agenda item on that, but figured I'd bring it up here as well, just as a open discussion. So yeah, cool. We'll move on to the governance voting platform. Monday's meeting, I went through just the initial demo of the front end of the council, or I'm sorry, the governance platform voting. I know that there's, just in going through the demo itself, there's is quite a bit of work still to be done on that. I want to put together some time, and maybe it's this meeting next week, or I kind of don't want to wait that long, so I'll probably try to get council meeting or council members and anybody else who, like Scotty, or anybody else who's interested in what it might look like together in a private session, maybe Friday here, or tomorrow, to just kind of run through it, get folks feedback again, and then kind of start working on it. I know Shelly and I have talked about trying to get it out, ahead of the 2026 voting time frame. So, sometime before, well, I would say, yeah, around the new year.
I just thought of another thing that we need to make sure that we do for so it's not as easy as just upgrading the nodes, is that there are several contracts out there that are built around staking on the old way of actually doing block rewards, and so those people that we're still using those would need to modify the contracts to work with the new way. Um, that are just automatically built into the protocol. So that's probably the heaviest lift, honestly. And making sure that they're ready for it is the thing the council should be focused on mostly. So reaching out to developers, thinking about which projects are, especially Shelly, actually. So Shelly in the crowd. But because he's like created about 25 different wrapped voice. And so making sure that they actually work with the new system is probably the most important thing.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. And if Shelly wants to come up and talk about any of that stuff, welcome to open discussion on that. We talked. Okay, here he is. Let's get him up here since it's top of mind.
Just a quick talk on that. Like, I think it will be all fine. Like how I see that all working with the network upgrade is that there'll be like a deliberate switch from being from having like our manual like deployments to like having the right amount of tokens in the fee sync where the protocol upgrades are like where those the consensus staking rewards come out of. So there'll be like a deliberate switch there, and like before that happens, we'll have to do, like I already made some updates. I already like did some future proofing on like the new some of the new rap boys, right? But it's not a big issue. I think the primary like concern is that when we before we do that deliberate switch to the new consensus, which could come after the upgrade. Like I don't think it has to come before, but I think that there'll have to be some like work on my end to help to like come up with like the workflow to upgrade these contracts for especially for like the staking program in the incentivized testnet. So that's like somewhere between like 300 and 400 million VOI that would be affected. So we just want to make sure that those are they don't miss their block rewards. And it's I think for this particular topic we should move forward with the coordinating the network upgrade, and then switch into like the migration of the manual block rewards to the new like the automatic block rewards. But before that happens, we need to make sure that these the transition for the staking contract holders will be seamless. And we've already like I've already actually done this in a recent work. For example, the underlying tech of the new like grant payment is based on the staking contracts, and so it's already built to allow you to do that like that explicit like fee payment that will like turn on to make the account like eligible for staking, the same way it works on Algorand right now. So it's all there. Just like a note moving forward, it'll require like a plan that I would like make. Like we've done this before, like early in testnet, we've had to do we've had to do like updates and like clean up for some of the accounts that got like black. They got I guess they got filtered out, or they weren't following the rules, right? So it's the same workflow. We're going to upgrade all of the we're going to have block authority upgrade all of these contracts so that they have that extra code that allows them to go online after the update. Yeah, so whenever whenever that happens, it will be there'll be some I'll have to come up with a plan, so should be like, it's not really important right now. It should be after we do the network update. But yeah, so that's it. Any like questions, because I don't want to be talking all day. So anything? Okay, good.
None from my end. Thank you. Appreciate that. Unless Chris has got questions, or Ludo.
I'm okay.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Awesome. We talked earlier about streaming on other platforms. It's let's just see where our audience is and why stream it on somewhere that isn't helpful. But if there are other platforms that make sense for us, that'd be great. Also talked a little bit about setting up some type of Farcaster account for the Void network, and maybe this is a strategy of Coop on doing social media stuff. I don't know, but just a thought. The relay compensation, I think the way that we left it was for Fury to just crunch the numbers on who gets what from that proposal, and then sends the token request form to Gov, and be done with it for now. Awesome. Yeah, there's a couple other proposals that need some feedback. The addendum to moderator, I think that's already been, I don't know if it's been voted on yet, but I know that yeah, Haruf, if you wanna.
It was voted on. It was approved. It just needs to be submitted as approved.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. And then, yeah, there were a couple of retroactive proposals, the council election platform grant proposal, and then the grant pay. If you guys have questions about it, I know that they were assigned. I'm the one who is to be talked to about those. I submitted the election platform retro grant, and then the grant pay. Shelly had submitted that one, but I'm the spokesperson for that as well. So I know I've got Nuss. If you're still in the audience, let's set some time this week to connect on the council platform, and then I think Scotch is the one on the grant pay proposal as well. So I'll try to connect with him so we can kind of move those things along. Okay, so what are some of the action items we got out of this meeting? I think one of them was meeting with Coop on Friday. There's a meeting next Monday with OX Labs. Sounds like some action items to be done for coordinating the network upgrade as well. Yeah, I'll add that as an action item for next week to kind of just touch base to see if any movements happened on it. And then, yeah, meeting with folks for discussing the voting platform a little bit deeper as well. If anybody's got anything else, feel free to jump up or speak now, forever hold your peace. If not, we can adjourn this meeting. Guys got anything?
Nada.
Awesome.
Hope you all have a good week.
Yeah, you too. We'll catch y'all later. Thank you so much for joining, contributing, and yeah, look forward to pushing things forward here. So